Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Board Game video. Today's video is dedicated to April Clan Battle Day 4, so let's go ahead and jump right into this. We're going to be talking about every single team when it comes to Wyvern, Griffon, Needle Creepers, Cyclops, and Pigs. Let's go ahead and jump right into the first one. This is going to be the Kokoro face tank. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, I've showed it a couple of times, but I'm going to show the mechanics of how this one works specifically, just so folks can, get reacquainted with it. And this is going to be the best comp for Wyvern. Alright, all of these comps that I'm about to show you, it's pretty much the best for the situation that's going to be applied. Now, of course, there are like some things that I can improve upon. Usually I don't do this on auto, so bear with me if the damage isn't like 900 or 800k. The point is I need to get Kokoro up front ASAP. Alright, that's my personal goal with this one. Alright, let's do that. And then she just casted her Tri-Slash. We're going to do this. And then now we're pretty much going to go on auto. Now, it's not going to be perfect. You can do it a single way that you prefer. Kaori does have to be at 5-star for this to work, because Kaori at 4-star, she pretty much dies. Which is, of course, unfortunate, but that's how the cookie crumbles when it comes to high-end teams like this. And the biggest recommendation, of course, is your Kokoro can either stay back if your Kaori can take more damage, or she can move up in case your Kaori can't take the damage. The point is Kaori has to be 5-star because she lasts long enough in order to stay alive and everything. And even though this run wasn't that efficient, we're still doing, pretty great damage overall, right? 900k, you can technically hit 1 mil depending on how you time like the Kokoros and do the skills and death breaks and stuff. But this is going to be the first team for Wyvern, alright? And then pretty much everything else when it comes to Griffon, it's very cookie cutter. So this is the classic June comp, which is pretty much Saren and Shori. You can replace Shori with anyone else, like Susanna or Arisa, whichever archer that you have that is technically the strongest for your situation. Arisa, technically she is going to be like the strongest archer in the game because she has the best like TP self boosting, but she has to have the stars to compensate for the fact, to be stronger than Shori. Because Shori and Susanna, they can hit 4-star much easier. So if you have them at 4-star, then, maybe you can switch Arisa out. But Arisa is definitely the best one from what I can tell. So this is going to be like the team. You don't have to run it on manual. If you run it on manual, of course, you can get 50 to like 10k like more damage. Manual is always better if you can do it. But personally, I don't trust myself on manual. There's been so many times where it comes from trial to clash and everything sort of just blows up in your face. Note this team does apply to Needle Creeper. I've pretty much shown it in previous videos, but I just wanted to show it actually working on Griffon in case folks were curious, like, hey, what's like the best team? So while I'm showing like these best teams, the Needle Creeper, Wyvern, and Griffon, they all sort of like stay the same. They don't really deviate from the formula of what's quote-unquote a good team. And I think we barely hit a mil right here, right? Oh, just short of it. But still, it can hit a mil if, you're getting good RNG. And then let's go ahead and show the Cyclops comp, which is probably the best one as well. And you've seen it before. So this is the classic Cyclops team. I know this doesn't really apply to the other bosses. Cyclops you pretty much have to play with. And of course, recommendations is to have Hiyori, Makoto, and Kaori all at the same star level in order for this one to be successful. And a couple key notes is that the Skull, the, Shinobi's wannabe dad, he is pretty much able to take some heat off of pretty much Hiyori, Makoto, and Kaori. So this is why Shinobu acts more than a defense breaker. She acts more of a capability to keep Makoto, Kaori, and Hiyori alive, because it's technically hard to keep them alive in certain situations like this. Kaori tank's one of those things where if she isn't 4 or 5-star, it's hard to pull off. Take a note where it's like if you're clan battle focused, you should take all of your princess arena coins and put it into Kaori if you're clan battle focused. If you're not, then feel free to invest it in other characters, or if you have a different waifu. And of course for me, Kaori is my waifu. Ooh, the timing messed up there. Odo, casting her UB instead of Kaori. But let's see if we can pretty much do the damage that we want. It's probably not going to be 900k. Is it going to be 900k? Can we do it? 40? Okay, just shy of it. Which is still, of course, like, some of the best damage when it comes to Cyclops, right? Alright, so we've pretty much shown a bunch of comps, 800, 900, and then like the 1 mils. That's going to be the goals for everyone. And then let's go ahead and show the best Pigs comp. Now, this one is actually pretty surprising because it's completely like off key, and when I saw it I was like, there's no way this was gonna work. Alright, and the pretty much MVP character of this run is going to be Ayane, alright? Which is super interesting because she's a 2-star and you wouldn't really think that, but if you can actually time Ayane's stuns appropriately against pigs, it works out very well. And not to mention, Ayane also has a defense break, so she's quite a unique character in some ways when it comes to this, because she has a defense break, she has a stun, she's pretty much built for certain comps in clan battle where the bosses run a little too rampant, right? And you can see, I think like their faces changed a little when they got hit by Ayane, but it's super cool to see like these off meta characters being good in certain situations. And while the damage isn't anything too crazy, like we're not hitting like a mil or 800k or whatever, it's decent enough to say that this is one of the better comps for pigs. And when it comes to quote-unquote a better comp for pigs, it's kind of difficult to find. I've seen if you can time this appropriately, it can reach upwards to 700, 800, and even 900k. And that's just going to be because you have Makoto, who can defense break, Ayane, who can defense break, and you have Mitsuki, who can defense break. And if you stack all of those defense breaks together, and then you hit with like Kaori, it'll be way more significant, especially since Pigs has more defense, and technically you want more defense breakers for bosses who have more defense, right? Alright, so we actually deal 650k on auto, right? And just note that this can be refined to be even better. That's the things that I want to take away from this. So those are pretty much all the teams right there. Let's go into my clan and then show you my personal log. Alright, here are my personal logs and everything, right? We're going to show the trial runs with all of these. These were like, you know, the ones that I did previously in order to showcase the proper damage, right? And if you're wondering why didn't I showcase like all these teams previously, well, you know, the Needle Creeper one and all that stuff, they're all the same, like Griffon, Wyvern. And when it comes to Cyclops and Twin Pigs, there was a lot of refinement before we actually got like a sustainable team that everyone could sort of pull off if you had the correct characters. Now, of course, when I showcase these characters, your results will vary, because it's not like everyone has a 5-star Kaori, right? Like, I don't want to shove that in everyone's face. I just really highly invested in her, and she was my waifu and ended up working out. And same thing with Hiyori. And when it comes to your waifu, there might be a team comp that'll work, because Suzume, we showed yesterday, works, and that of itself was like really crazy to see that Suzume could even do that. Like, she could even score like 600k with the Archer team, because 600k is insanely respectable considering like what other teams do against pigs. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and run this team and see if it goes well. When it comes to clan battle and it comes to teams, right, it takes a lot of time, especially for the last two bosses, to find what really works, because the last two bosses always have like weird mechanics, like with TP reduction, or they only aim for physical attack and whatnot, right? So when it comes to this, it's not like that Mitsuki, Jun, and Makoto and Kaori, yes, they will sit at the top, they will always be useful, but there will always also be other characters that can do it better, right? And when it comes to that, it's just so interesting and so satisfying to see that these things can come together in certain situations. Alright, with this match, I wanted to go more AoE, you know, obviously attack-based focus. And you can see there we took out the Nozomi, or not the Nozomi, but the Jun and the Makoto, which is huge because that means less defense breaks, more attacks for us, and hopefully Saren and Mimi and Mitsuki can take down this, you know, Nozomi. Alright, yeah, this is the goal. This is like my AoE team, my physical one that I sometimes run when I'm going super aggro. And of course, your results will vary because, you know, they're highly geared and all that stuff. But when it comes to this, like Nozomi and Mitsuki are dungeon characters. Saren, I went absolutely ham on when it came to shards. Mimi, you know, she had her event. And Hiyori, I didn't invest in like Tamaki or Monaco. Like, if you go into my shop and stuff, I do not have very many like Monaco shards really. Reno shards are like non-existent, and I'm barely buying some more Tamaki shards again. And I'm probably gonna go for Tamaki 5-star above all else. And let's go ahead and do some Princess Arena, right? Alright, let's go ahead and face off against this team. You know, usually like one of the 2 question mark teams are like Reno comps or a Mage Melt or something like that. And the first team is a good indicator to see what the rest of the teams are. Kyoka's here, so that tells me there might not be a Mage Melt like among the teams. we might be able to take one of the Mage Melt teams, but this is one of my better teams. Like this one specifically when it comes down to taking down like these Kyoka or interesting comps where it's pretty much like Miyako and stuff. I try not to bring Akari because I want to save her for certain situations, because sometimes I trick myself into running Akari and then, you know, Tamaki just one-shots her. So usually I'm just very wary, but then you have moments like this where I can't kill Miyako, but then again, there's also no Maho, so I'm not too worried. Hopefully, Hiyori, no, this is probably an L, because I don't think Mitsuki is strong enough to take down pretty much just Miyako right here. Like, we're getting very close, but yeah, this is way too hard. Sometimes the teams, of course, they don't work out, no matter how aggro and how much gear and stars and all that stuff. But this team is also good at taking down Reno comps. But there you go. Obviously, Akari is like the one, but you gotta watch out for the Tamaki. When it comes to like clan battle and everything though, like I can't make any of these teams or pretty much showcase any of these teams without like the folks in Discord, without the clan members, without like, you know, the community members, because a lot of the times you're probably wondering, Bork, why are you sharing all these teams? Doesn't that increase the competition? And we even had like someone who can't really participate within the clan. And it's one of those things where, of course, like health comes first above all else. And I just want folks to enjoy clan battle and have a place where everyone can participate. Because most of all, like, I care about the community. I want everyone to have a good time, and by sharing these comps and just knowing what's going on so you can see it, it sort of helps you feel like you're included in what's going on, like with the overall meta. Like, what are people actually focusing on in clan battle? Community becomes sort of split, where it's like, hey, you know, you did something in the background. But most of the time, it just comes down to like, hey, you just have more stars and you just ran more defense breaks against bosses who have more defense, right? It's just taking those mechanics that you see on bosses and making them like pretty much become manipulated by what you have. And yep, they pretty much had like the Reno and Mage Melt teams in the back, which I sort of like knew was going to happen. So seeing like this Yukari and the Mage Melters right here, it's really unsurprising to me. So I don't feel like I can win against this, just because like my mages, they're not really leveled up outside of Akari. And yeah, there we go. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the teams. I wish I could have shown them all sooner, but it's just a lot of refinement, and even I didn't run them in the beginning. I was skeptical, and we didn't find most of these teams until like pretty much the end. But hopefully this can help you out, and hopefully the teams that I've shared previously have helped you out. Anyways, that is it for today's video. Consider subscribing if you made it this far, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Once we hit 17,500 subs, we'll be doing a giveaway. Thanks so much for watching, and have a fantastic day. See you in the next one.